Let's do this. Something went wrong? What? Log in. Why is my restream taking a shit? Hold on a sec. Okay, that's working. Just make sure that this is working. Audio settings. That is the incorrect audio settings. Okay. All right, let me try to open up my restream chat. An error occurred. Please try again later. Why isn't it loading my restream chat? That's really annoying. Why are you like this? Why? Oh, whatever. Copy link address. Let everybody know that I am streaming. Okay. What are your thoughts on the Democratic Socialist Party? Based? Definitely better than what we have now. Also, I have no idea why my restream is just like taking a giant shit. I guess I'll just load like it on YouTube. That's so annoying though. I don't want to do that. We are taking calls though. Phone number is 202-998-5218. You want to call in, have a discussion? More than happy to hear you out. Did you know that the Democratic Socialist Party is the most disproportionately homosexual standalone political party in the U.S.? Okay, so? And that second place is the Libertarian Party? Okay, yeah, so? What's your point? That's not bad, is it? You don't think that's bad, right? You wouldn't be like that, right? Come on, that's not bad. It's okay to be openly homosexual. You could be homosexual. There's nothing wrong with it. But I don't know. Maybe you disagree with that sort of thing. I am taking calls. Phone number is 202-998-5218. So get this, right? We're actually going to be doing a bit of a field trip. The field trip is we're going to the Big Politics Discord server. And we're going to see how that goes. We're going to be disabling the phone calls and instead talking to people on that Discord and see what they have to say. I venture to say there's not going to be a whole lot of actual arguments, but I'll hear them out. Why did I start in the Temple of Time? Well, actually, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure that this game always starts on the Temple of Time. Sh50 says, yay! Hi, Sh50. Why is my restream not working? It won't work. It says it won't. Try reloading the page. Okay, hold on. Let me sign in. Come on. Oops, something went wrong. Try reloading the page. I don't know why it's doing that. Bulk Romance says, well, just put it like this. I wouldn't attend a Democratic Socialist meetup in person for fear of contracting someone from being in the same room as so many people with STDs at one time. You know, I think it's in your favor. Nobody is going to have sex with you. So you are safe. I promise you. Nobody wants to. Nobody's into it. But you may want to like reconsider, like, I don't know. I have a feeling that it's like really common among right wingers where they basically, like, if they're openly homophobic, they actually have a higher propensity of being gay themselves. Unironically, like, just come out. Like, it's okay. Like, why does it matter to you to be disparaging to gay people for being gay? I mean, it just, unless if you just are really that repressed where you need to do that. One of them could cough. The airborne particles could infect you. Does anybody want to let him know that that's not how STDs work? Here, I'll help you out, right? What is the words that are abbreviated into STD? Here, help yourself out. What are those three words? STD. All right, you ready? The words are sexually transmitted diseases. Okay, so does that mean that the disease shows up in the air? No, that's not what that means. So we're going to try that one more time. STD, as in sexually transmitted diseases. So in order to contract an STD, you have to have sex. And I promise you, given by your opinions, you are definitely not having sex. So you are good to go. You are good to go. Bulk Bro Man says, I have to assume that if that logic is true, you're actually a secret right Christian nationalist fascist. So people don't get things from STDs, like sharing needles. I'm sure that could happen, but I mean, are you going to be sharing needles with somebody? The point that I'm trying to make to you is that it's not airborne. That's not how that works. It's not airborne. You're not going to get an STD by going to a gay convention, you freak. Hello, AWOL. Hello, Sh50. It's so good to see friendly faces. To be fair, Bobro is never getting laid. Be nice to Bobro. By the way, we're doing a field trip today. We're going onto the big politics server. And we're going to be taking calls there. So that'll be fun. I think I gotta kill these ladies, and then we gotta rescue people. Really? She just stopped. How do I, like... Ah, that's how you do that. So all I'm trying to get you to do, Bulk Bro Man, is just stop being a dick. Like, you basically came in to the VC and just chose and went immediately to choosing violence. That was a figure of speech. I don't mean you literally chose violence. I'm saying, like, yeah, I hope you, there you go. I mean, you came in swinging your fist, bro, and like as soon as I start throwing it back, now for whatever reason you seem to be getting all butthurt. Anyway, you're on the line with 1stAmender.
Hey, how you doing, Amender?
Hey, Extremo. I'm doing good.
Hey, bro, I don't have too much time, so I'll just get to the chase. Cut to the chase. I know you're not a fan of Joe Rogan. I'm not sure why you wouldn't be. He's pretty funny, but recently he had Steve-O from the Jackass crew on his podcast,
Okay.
and Steve-O started talking some shit about an experience he had with a trans person that sounded pretty similar to like the shit that you talk about, and I felt like his response was pretty much a summary of what a lot of right wingers that you consider bigots have when it comes to the issue. And I was just wondering if you have had the time to like listen to that opinion, or if you would.
No,
like
I've not listened
it.
to Steve-O about the trans community.
Yeah, look. So I would just
Nor am I
recommend,
interested in whatever
like,
opinion he has.
well, Steve-O is it's like he's in the same page you are.
Yeah?
He was describing
Sick.
how he had experience with a trans person, and the trans person started complaining about how they're being genocided and they're like not even allowed to take a shit. He basically said, and he said that he felt bad when he heard that, and he was very compassionate about that cause. And then Joe Rogan had I feel like a very reasonable response to that. And I really do behoove you to listen to it, because it does summarize like my own position on it, right? Which is like, nobody really cares. You know what I mean? It's not a big deal. Like, being trans people are not really like a big deal unless they're like the crazy ones that like get all angry and shit. You know what I'm saying? Most people don't care, at least.
All right. So should trans people just be able to use the bathroom that they want?
No, they should use
Okay.
the bathroom that corresponds to their own to like if they're whether male or female. Yeah, because that's
Extremo.
we don't have male and female, or we don't
Yeah.
have men and women restroom, because
I mean,
we
there's
want
going to
to
be
be
like a
bigoted
point
against
where
trans
you're not
people.
going to
We
be able
do
to
it
tell, I guess. Like,
well, I mean, sure, but
it's,
like
it's not like
the
we're
problem
checking
is
everybody's
that, like,
pants. Like, at the end of the day, like, we're not
yeah,
doing that.
but like let's remember that we don't separate these people because we're trying to be bigoted against trans people. Like, I'm just trying to keep weirdos from the restroom.
So
Which I think
why
that
are
you
we
would agree
why are we
is
separating them then?
because
What's the reason?
men are like like men can victimize women,
Really?
and often do, if
All
they're
right.
if
Hear me out. What
they
if I
are of
told
that
you
nature.
that even by a per capita basis, the overwhelming amount of people that sexually assault women in women's bathrooms are overwhelmingly cisgendered people? Did you
Right.
know that?
That's the. I agree with you. That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about cisgender people representing themselves as trans, using the whatever
All right. Well,
speech that you have about the
and
situation
let's be
to
honest,
take
right?
advantage
If
of.
somebody, if there is a cis person that needs to Scooby Doo villain their way into the women's bathroom, I got news for you. There is not going to be a law that will prevent them from abusing women in the future.
There is. There is, like, as of now, like, if you're a
There's
man,
not.
you
I
just
mean, because
cannot
like
go into
already, like you're talking about sexual
there is,
assault. Like
like,
sexual assault's already illegal.
no, yeah,
Right.
yeah, you're
So
right,
like
exactly, right?
like
So,
having an
like,
extra law to specifically to discriminate trans people is only there to really
it's,
just cause trouble to trans people, not
I,
an actual like
hey, bro,
real efficacy that exists.
listen, bro, I really do encourage you to listen to that short 2 or 3 minute snippet. I think that it answers your question
I'll keep
better
it in
than I
mind.
could.
But I'll be
Because
honest with you. I'll be honest with you. I don't really care what Steve-O says, and I don't care about what Joe Rogan says. What I care about is human rights and decency. I believe that trans people have a right to life, liberty, property, pursuit of happiness, just as everybody else, and they are bestowed upon them the ability to use public restrooms because that is presumed to be a right. People need to use the bathroom.
it's not no, but
Yes.
more important. No, but more.
I'm sorry. Is it a law
like,
if to have public accommodations in areas of a certain level
no,
of
I don't.
occupancy? I've always thought that that was a law. Is that not a law?
Right, but they're not denied
All right, so then just
the
let
use
people
of
use
the
the bathroom
restroom based
and
on.
leave them the fuck alone and stop
Yeah, they do.
worrying
Wait,
about
hold up.
what is in their
They are
pants.
not. But just to be clear, from what I understand, there's no laws that forbid trans people from using the restroom.
There
I mean,
literally are.
maybe you're.
There
Okay,
literally are.
well,
You
the,
advocated
the laws don't
forcing
prohibit them.
trans people to have to use the bathroom of the sex assigned at birth,
Can
in
you
which
name?
case is going to result
Yes.
in fights, which causes them to go,
No, it's
okay, I'm
not.
just not going to use the bathroom. It does.
No,
In fact,
no, it's not.
that is
No, it's not.
the experience of trans people across the United
No, it's
States when
not.
trying to use the bathroom
You're
because of the
lying.
rhetoric behind it.
Most times they get away. Most times they just go shit in the men's restroom. And
No, most time they use the
cares.
restroom at home, right? Because
Yeah,
it's a
sure,
giant,
sometimes
it's
they
like a
use the restroom
giant
at
pain
home,
in the
but
ass to have to sit there and have to justify
they're
using the
not.
restroom when they
That
just need to
doesn't mean
go
they're
pee
prohibited from
or
using
poo
the
or whatever,
restroom.
like a human does.
You're not making a law. You didn't post a law.
There is a law. There are
that
laws. I don't need to. I don't need to post you a law. You know these laws exist. I have shown them to
I
you
don't.
probably
I'm
more than half a dozen times by now, Extremo.
There's-
You already
no,
know
They
these.
just don't let. They just don't
Okay,
let you
let's
go
pull
into
up the
opposite sex.
laws regarding trans
That the
people in
law doesn't
bathrooms.
say, hey, if you're trans, you're not allowed to use the restroom. There's no law that exists like that. Bro. That
You're
would
being
be
disingenuous. You know
unconstitutional.
what my issue is?
Yeah, well, I'm not being disingenuous because
You are being disingenuous.
very clearly.
Because I sat there and I pointed to you. I pointed to you how there are laws that exist that specifically discriminate against trans people from being able to use their gender assigned bathroom. They have to use the one of their sex assigned. But the problem is that basically what that is just a discrimination specifically towards trans people. Regular other people can just basically use the bathroom as they see fit without any risk of repercussion.
But by proxy.
No, it's not by proxy.
Yeah, but I think
that's empirically what happens. Listen, what do you? Okay, hold on. Let's say you got a trans woman. Okay, trans woman, and she passes really good. Okay, if she uses, stop talking and listen. Jesus Christ, we're already starting off horrible. So let's say, for example, let's say, for example, that we have a trans woman that. I need you to listen to what my hypothetical is.
I just wanted to recommend that you listen to that.
You're not listening to my hypothetical.
It does summarize my position a little bit more accurately than even I could tell you because I have a certain way with words apparently that don't penetrate. You know.
Yeah, you're not
that
kidding.
Being said,
you're not listening.
Salam alaikum, bro. Good luck on politics.
All right. Have a good day. Holy shit. Starting off heavy. All right, let me see if I can log in to my Restream because Restream looks like we got more people showing up. This is great. Hello, everybody. Trying to log in. It says something went wrong. Maybe if I log into Restream directly, maybe that'll work. Let me try that. We are taking calls. Phone number is 202-998-5218. I'm trying to see if I can log in and get this frickin' thing to work. I mean, it says that the stream is started. I want to see where do I see the chat? Chat. Bro, that is so annoying. Chat settings. This should work. Let me look here. Hold on. Give me a sec. So sorry, guys. Settings, default alignment, message background opacity, scale is 100. It's fine. About. Bro, I don't know. Embedded in the stream. Embedded chats for a bit. Okay. I don't fucking know, dude. Download for Windows. Maybe the problem is the fact that it's not updated? I don't know. Restream chat setup. That's what we're going to do. We're just going to reinstall it and hopefully it works. Maybe. By the way, if you guys have just joined in and you are not subscribed, consider a sub. Also, if you would do me a favor, hit the like on the video if you have not hit like yet. If you like this kind of content, if you like debate content. Okay, it looks like that the update of Restream worked. Air Llama says, Bulk really out here speculating about how trans people piss. I don't know, dog. You sound kind of gay. That's a good point. I mean, like, nobody thinks more about... I'm pretty sure Republicans think more about trans genitals more than even trans people themselves. I think the trans person is like, why are you thinking about my genitals constantly? I do not understand these. I do not understand you. AWOL thoughts, once again, not understanding the conflation between sex and gender, talking about his DNA. Joe Jitsu says, I could argue that it would exclude them aside from that category. Females do not by definition produce small gametes. They have or would produce large gametes. Yes, by sex. Yes, by sex. You are correct. Yes. Sex is not revoked by bringing up gender. I just want everybody to be aware that that's how that works. Ah, fucking mother bitch. All right. I messed up. Phone call. You're on the line with 1stAmender.
What's up, bro?
Hello. Yeah, you're on. Can I get your name?
William. We've talked before.
All right, William. What you want to talk about?
Whatever you're on. Are you talking about Iran or whatever?
No, we were talking about the transgender issue.
You're in the mood for.
We were talking about the transgender issue just now. Yeah.
I
if
heard,
you want to bring it up.
I had a question.
Okay.
I heard you talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they need to stop antagonizing him so much. I think I personally wouldn't care what bathroom they use.
Based. I appreciate that. I think that's really important. I think as well, like, the problem is like there's laws right now that says, okay, if you're going into the bathroom, if you're not your assigned sex at birth, then, you know, we're going to send fines your way. We can send jail your way, sexual assault, all sorts of crazy stuff. And it's like, bro, can you just like leave them alone? Like, they just need to use the bathroom. Like, I don't think this is as serious as people are making it out to be.
Yeah. I honestly don't know what I would do. I get we could just find a way to I don't know. That's real because no matter what I say, somebody might try to block it. So I don't know. I want whatever is good for society and moves us forward and respects them as humans.
Heck yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a moment to take a look at my hot takes list?
I have seen it. You said you were against spanking.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I also have concerns about that.
Big time.
I don't remember everything else. Are you against the Iran stuff that Trump's doing?
Yes, 100%. I think it is
making
the world
I don't
a worse
understand
place.
it. My grandma was trying to tell me that he has to do it or whatever.
It's total nonsense. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I think it's stupid. I think we should focus on American stuff. He hasn't given me a good reason. I do sympathize with it a little bit because we looked weak when we pulled out of Afghan and Iraq, but I don't think that's a good enough reason because this probably will end badly. So,
I mean, to be fair, right? Like you can't. It's very difficult to stop. For example, I guess the motivations that occur I know in Afghanistan, you know, the warriors that were fighting in Afghanistan, you know, terrorists fighting, they were motivated saying God wills it and God is on our side on this one. It's like,
Yeah, so it's a
how can
religion
you
problem
how can you
more than a,
possibly how could you compete with that kind of motivation? Like your motivation is
yeah.
basically like, I am going to be victorious because God will it. So, which means that whoever that person is, doesn't matter if you have a gun, a stick, a nuclear bomb, whatever, they believe
We're
that
never
they will
going to
be
eradicate
victorious.
Islam.
Like they will stand there in front
I
of
mean,
a
people have
of a
tried, but it
tank.
doesn't work.
They're going to stand there in front of a tank with a stick and say, "I will be victorious against this tank." And it's like once you get to that level of motivation, it's like, I don't know how you could possibly fight against that, right?
Yeah.
Like,
What else is Trump doing? What kind of
like
trouble is
I think you could
causing?
raise all of Iraq or Iran to the ground, and it would not result in victory. You would still have people fighting. I believe
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, we're never going to stop the Middle East stuff. They're always going to be crazy.
Yeah.
We usually just make it worse, to be honest.
Yes, quite often. And to be honest, the only reason why Iran is even like aggressive with us is because we have been very aggressive to the Middle East for a very long time.
Trump
Ever
started
since
it this
the
time.
Nakba. It's true.
I heard he's killing little kids and stuff, and I was like, that's fucked up.
Yeah,
You
so
always do that.
it turns out that there was like a school that was like a part of a military base, and based on like
Yeah.
2016 satellite footage, you know, it would have been a part of the military base, but it was actually sectioned off of the military base, and it was separated with a wall, and it was partitioned off, and then it was turned into a school. That particular building, and the Trump administration found it wise to use 2016 satellite maps for their intelligence, and then ended up bombing a literal school. Yeah, that's what happened.
We've done this before. I know we did a lot of crazy stuff I didn't know about when I supported him. I'm like, what the fuck?
You used to support him?
I used to in 2016 to 2022-ish.
What made you go, all right, this is it, I can't go anymore?
But you want me to tell you why I stopped supporting him?
Yeah.
Okay. So I started to pull away after that. He claimed the election was stolen, and the fallout of that overwhelmed me. So I started kind of pulling away a little bit, like, I guess I still support him, but I don't want to get in trouble for him. I'm not vouching for him anymore. And then they started his undying Israel stuff, his views on police. He wanted to indemnify them, and then I was concerned about police brutality, cops getting away with it. I'm like, that's not right.
Mm-hmm.
And then on some cultural issues, he just started antagonizing people, and he wasn't even focusing on the right stuff. And I'm like, this is bullshit. He's not even going to make anything better. He's just going to antagonize people. This is stupid.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't trust this guy anymore because he's obviously just running his mouth and not really solving any problems.
Well, I could have told you that based on the books I read about him, but you know, that was after I read, I think it was like the Bob Woodward book Rage. That killed it. That I had there was I was like there, this guy is actually dangerous and an idiot, and we need to stop him. I'm like, and I mean, this was all the way like midway through his first presidency, and I was just like, there is no justification. And I'm like, this guy's an actual moron. He has no idea what he's doing. And but people didn't really care what I had to say. They were like, no, economy. Like, I was like, I don't think you know what you're talking about.
He used to be libertarian, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Were you a right-wing or a left-wing libertarian? Right wing.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't be right wing anymore. It's
Yeah, no,
pissing
me neither.
off too much.
I couldn't do it. Not anymore anyway.
They're so bad faith now.
Oh, they just completely like pretend like they're in their own like area of facts. Like I don't really understand it. It's like I feel like it's like you have to use Fox News exclusively to be right wing and just completely avoid
Yeah.
any other like news site or anything. You can't listen to any of
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
I used to like Jesse Waters, but now he's corny, and I just don't trust him anymore.
Yeah. No, it's just wild. What
You are
what
Jesse
news
Waters?
do you listen to? Where do you get your information? Can I ask?
Good question. I kind of hear what people are saying, go to who I trust, and then bring them all together and see what's lining up to reality, what's lining
Yeah.
up to
So is it just like mainly
what I'm
YouTubers
seeing.
or like a
Yeah,
podcast?
I take everybody with a grain of salt, but I try to see like who's been on point consistently, making sense.
Yeah.
Who ends up being right more, and then I trust them more.
Gotcha.
But they got to earn my trust because
Yeah.
there's a lot
Who's your favorite?
misinformation. My favorite.
Yeah.
Favorite. I don't know if I have a favorite. I can say only who I think hasn't let me down that much. Everyone's been wrong before.
Mm-hmm.
Entertainment wise, I like Christopher. No, not Christopher Cantwell. What's it? Jeremy Kaufman.
Okay.
But he doesn't really give me any information. He just kind of says his opinion and trolls people.
Yeah, fair enough.
I like comedians.
Comedians. Okay.
I like, yeah. They're usually pretty libertarian.
It's true. They tend to be kind of like live and let live type people.
Yeah, that's how I am.
Yeah. I used to be that way, and then, I don't know, I think it was just me. I just kept reading and realized that the world is more complex than just... If everything, all else were equal, live and let live works perfectly, but I just think that there's more...
I think live and let die. Like when you tolerate certain things, they're destructive, and you gotta restrict it.
Yeah. Oh, I think.
But I started seeing that more after I became a Christian. Like, yeah, we can't let everything slide. We got to set some more limits on people on behavior. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I think it's backwards. I think we're going after the wrong shit, like harmless behaviors, and then the evil people keep getting away with it.
Yeah. Was good talking to you, William. Now, curious though, is there anything that you disagree with that you would like to go over?
I mostly agree with you about Iran and Mexico stuff, but I'm sure we have some contentions. But
okay.
But we can do that another time.
Sure. Well, it's good talking to you, William.
Yeah. Good talking to you too, man.
All right.
Have a great day.
Peace. Phones are open. 202-998-5218. Okay. Jiu-Jitsu. Once again, not understanding the difference between gender and sex. Yes, large and small gametes. Yes, small gametes for male. Large gametes for female. Yes. Now what about gender? Those are different things. For rescuing me, I'll tell you something interesting about the desert. They said in order to cross the haunted wasteland, you will need the eye of truth on the Colossus is on the far side of the wasteland. Okay, now I'm going back to my tent near Garuda Valley. So drop by sometime. You may find something helpful there. Okay. Wait, did we save them all? I think we got them all. Did we get them all? I've seen you. Yeah. Phone call. You're on the line with 1stAmender.
Hey, 1stAmender, it's Bumpy.
Hey, Bumpy. What you want to talk about?
I heard extremo, and I've never quite reflected on the opinion, but there's parts of me that feel icky about trans, bathrooms, and children at their most vulnerable. And I don't have a workaround for it, but I figured I'd just talk it through with you.
Okay.
I feel like there's certain privileges, certain freedoms that some of us at least, willingly give up for I wouldn't say the greater good, but at least for I guess the most beneficial possibility for children. And there's just parts of it that don't feel right.
What about trans children?
Well, I feel like trans children using the bathroom would at least most likely be with a parent.
See, I'm on the mind of like, just let people use the bathroom. Like shouldn't be a big deal. It doesn't matter. Like just pick your bathroom. Go ahead. You're good. It's not a big deal. No need to make laws or have police checking people's genitals. Probably just let them use the bathroom.
Well, I mean, I would never be for checking people's genitals. But
I agree.
I feel like we live in a...
Well, it's like, how are you going to tell that somebody is trans? Like,
but I think laws don't apply. I think laws are in place for when things don't go right or to prevent things from going wrong. And I feel like whatever jeopardy trans people may feel or whatever discomfort trans people may feel from using a bathroom...
Well, you're aware that like sexual assault by per capita basis... Per capita, right? Not total population, per capita. Trans people assault one another or assault people less.
And that may be the case, but I don't think it's apples and oranges to compare the victimhood of a trans person to the victimhood of a child. And I understand
victimhood. What do you mean?
Meaning, if something goes wrong with an adult being victimized, it feels better than something going wrong with a child being victimized.
Okay. Just let them use the bathroom. Like nobody's going to abuse it. In fact, it's quite common that you'll have, say for example, if you're a dad and you have a daughter, you'll just pull the daughter into the men's restroom and just use the bathroom. Like this isn't a big deal. Nothing's going to happen.
I don't know that I'd take my daughter into a men's room. I don't have a daughter.
Well, lots of men do that. Lots of men do that. If they need to escort their daughter to use the bathroom, they often will either pick to go into the women's restroom and they just brave it out and say that they have a daughter, or they go into the men's restroom and they just take their daughter in with them. Like, again, it's just not a big deal. Just let people use the restroom they feel most comfortable in.
But if I lived in a society where I felt comfortable that the only sex in the women's room was women, then I would be okay with letting my daughter go in there without me, and then nobody would be infringed upon. It would only be women in the women's room and men's in the men's room.
But you're aware that sexual assaults overwhelmingly happen by cisgendered, so it's basically a non-issue. It's totally made up. Doesn't exist.
I don't know enough about the stats, but you're usually in good faith, and I don't trust your numbers. But it still doesn't change things for the individual victim, nor does it change things for the parent.
Yeah, you should be more concerned with cisgendered people using the bathroom or using a bathroom to victimize people than trans people, is my point.
I understand that, but it's a problem I don't have to face too much if I can go with my son into the men's room, or if I can send my daughter into a women's room that doesn't have biological men in it.
The biological man is not going to hurt your daughter. You're going to be fine. And statistics show that. In fact, did you know that having estrogen in the body and the lack of testosterone actually reduces your libido? You're aware of that, right? So even assuming that they would sexually assault people normally, they likely would have a lower probability of doing that, even more so considering the fact that they're often on HRT. So
yeah, but
you should be more worried about the cisgendered woman than you would towards a transgender woman. It's just not a thing.
Everyone's trans journey is different. Not everyone is on the same hormone cocktail or taking HRT. It means different things for different people.
I'm just saying, like a percentage of them is going to do that, and a much lower amount actually sexually assault women. So why are you banning them from? Because it's like, oh, I want my daughter to be safe in the bathroom, but in reality, it's not really making them more safe. It's just creating a discriminatory law specifically for trans people on the basis of sex.
But as a result of that law, I have to explain to my daughter that there are times when it's okay for there to be men in the women's room.
Hold on. Give me one quick second. I have to share my screen real quick. Sorry, can you repeat that?
That as a result of that, I have to explain to my daughter that there are going to be times where it's okay for there to be men in the women's room.
There will be sorry, repeat that one more time for me. Sorry.
Okay, so people pass on different levels of passing. There are trans people which, to their validity, they just don't happen to pass well, and there are people that pass amazingly.
Okay,
but as a result,
they all need to use the bathroom, right? So the sex assigned at birth doesn't really make any sense, considering that they're being discriminated for using the bathroom, and as a result, they don't use the bathroom. They just use the bathroom at home, and then avoid this fight entirely because of a bunch of transphobic, moronic politicians that are trying to enforce a specific paradigm, which doesn't really make any sense. Just let people use the bathroom that they want. Simple.
Okay, when I discuss it with you, do you think I'm trying to enforce a paradigm?
You're saying sex assigned at birth, so yes.
But do you doubt that the perspective I'm bringing this from is not out of bigotry, but out of protection? I mean, where do you think I'm coming from? Personally,
I think you likely have listened to either transphobic podcasts or listen to what is like what is the popular opinion in these things, and you are hook, line, and sinker into it, when in reality, by just not only from a pragmatic perspective, but from a logical perspective, as well as a just a moral perspective, it's worse to not allow trans people to use the bathroom as they see fit.
Okay, well, I would tell you that so that you trust me, my viewpoint does not come from there. I, in fact, have trans friends. I care very much for all people, but I feel that my ultimate purpose
I don't see what relevance having trans friends has to do with anything.
Only that it's not coming from an isolated transphobic perspective. It's coming from a very open and accepting perspective. But the point is,
I mean, like the open and accepting perspective would be you just let trans people use the bathroom that they see fit. Seems pretty obvious.
But I feel my ultimate purpose is to protect the most vulnerable and the most innocent. And a child in the bathroom is
I agree with you. That's why you got to be careful with cisgendered men. Not trans women. Trans women aren't doing anything.
I think I've got to be careful with all men.
I think like transgender women, especially, you do not need to worry about them. It's a total nothing burger, what you're saying.
I don't think
statistically speaking, trans women don't commit higher sexual violence than cisgendered men. It's not even close.
But
so bringing up the safety of children is not going to do anything. Sorry, go ahead.
It would have to be like, I feel generally it's very hard for a man to be a bad man in a group of men. It's usually easier for a man to be a bad man in isolation. I don't think anyone is saying anything about trans men using the men's room, it's anecdotal. Unfortunately, I don't have any data, but I don't feel like situations happen in that scenario. But I feel like most assaults in restrooms of any kind happen in stalls and happen with men.
Yeah, and overwhelmingly cisgendered men, not trans women. And even by a per capita basis, that's the case. By a per capita.
Yeah.
So what's the problem? Just let trans women use the bathroom.
I wanted to flesh this out. I guess I'll agree to disagree with you. I don't feel any better about it. And I just think that the most vulnerable and the most innocent.
You should probably just look at statistics on sexual assault on sexual assault specifically for trans women per capita in comparison to cisgendered men.
And I think you sacrifice the greater harm. I think you sacrifice the greter harm.
The greater harm that trans women get to use the bathroom, and then what? Like there's a victimization of children. It's totally make believe.
The potential. It's not make believe. It does happen. It could be very rare.
I mean,
but it's
sure. I mean, but what if I treated just about it? What's the chances that you're going to hurt yourself with fireworks? Okay, ban fireworks. Like what? What is his argument?
But even then, you're talking about consenting adults, and I'm not talking about consenting adults. The fireworks,
no, kids. Kids can use firecrackers. So ban firecrackers for kids.
I don't think kids can buy firecrackers, at least not in my state.
What? They can have firecrackers.
Parents can choose.
They're always using firecrackers. So should we get like cops and start rounding up all the kids because they're playing with firecrackers?
No, but we should, as a society, agree to what's best for the most vulnerable, the most innocent.
Okay, then. Okay, so if that's the case, right, that you're worried about the safety of children, how do you feel about vaccination for children?
I feel the majority of them are good. I believe some of them are unnecessary.
Oh, okay. So we shouldn't have recommendations for vaccines then?
Yeah, we can have recommendations. We could recommend that.
I recommend that they take all their vaccines, literally all of them.
Okay,
so what's the problem?
I'm sorry. What aspect? I'm not following.
Okay, so obviously with vaccines, you'll find very often people who are transphobic, what they'll do is they'll say, hey, it's for the safety of children. Trans people shouldn't be, going, they need to go to the bathroom of their sex assigned at birth because kids or whatever. But also parents should be able to decide whether or not to vaccinate their kids. Which one do you honestly think empirically causes more harm?
Man, I'm not sure. I mean, sexual harm.
I think we could use our brain here and realize that 100% is vaccines. It's not even close. We literally are dealing with a measles epidemic in the state of Florida because we have idiot politicians that don't recommend vaccines. So yeah, you pick your battles, but the reality is that trans women using bathrooms is not going to hurt you at all.
I think the fatality rate of measles is like 1 in 1,000. If you had to choose between your kid dealing with measles,
hey, what if I told you that number gets worse?
Okay, but just be abstract and a bit more.
Just FYI, right? When less and less people take the vaccine, that number won't be 1 in 1,000, will it?
But Amender, please. Would you rather?
I just want to be clear, right? Like, let me ask you this: do you think that 1 in 1,000 children are assaulted by trans women in bathrooms?
No, but brother, I feel like you're
how about this? What if it's 1 in 10,000? Do you think it's 1 in 10,000?
But brother, you brought this up.
What about 1 in 100,000?
Hey, come on, man! You're not being cool right now.
I'm saying use your brain, right? Obviously, your priorities are nowhere close. They are not in reality.
I think most people would rather face measles than their child be sexually assaulted.
You are insane. You are insane. Measles will kill you, dude. Anyway, but also, and secondly, I'm not even making a comparison between those two. I'm saying that one of them will literally kill your child, and we're okay with super ignorant parents making these really dumb decisions on behalf of their children, but also, oh, I can't have a trans person in the bathroom because they could sexually assault me. Whatever, dude. It's fucking, you're giving me crocodile tears. Total fucking nonsense. It has nothing to do about the safety of the children, because then you would be consistent in this and say that, hey, we should there should be vaccine recommendations for all the vaccines necessary as recommended by medical research, and ban trans women being in bathrooms because, I don't know, sexual assault, even though the fact that that doesn't even bear in the statistics. At least it would be somewhat consistent. But given the fact that you're giving permission for for vaccines, but not for trans women being able to use the bathroom, is an insanely bigoted stance and has nothing to do with taking care of children.
It may be bigoted. I'm not purposely being bigoted. I'm not being bad faith. I'm not trying to aggravate you. I just feel like the harm of one outweighs the harm of the other. Like, chickenpox is a vaccine. I don't care if my kid gets chickenpox. I would rather a world where I willingly give my kid chickenpox than they potentially use bathrooms with
trans women. Oh no! I'll cry those crocodile tears with you, man. You know what I think we should do though? We should have separate. We should have separate bathrooms, for sure. I think we should have separate bathrooms for Republicans, right? I think Republicans should get their own separate bathroom, so that way they can sit there and like check each other's genitals or whatever, and whether or not that you're watching a Fox News.
Listen, if you want to do a third bathroom, it doesn't even have to be for trans people. You could have a bathroom, and anyone who enters a kid's bathroom could face penalties. I would be okay with that. If you told me that no matter where
the separate Republican bathroom.
I would have a kid-only bathroom. I'm okay with that. That accomplishes what I'm trying to get to.
It's really not necessary. You could just leave people alone and let people use the bathroom they see fit. Do you have anything else for me, Bumpy?
But other people may not leave my kids alone. No, I'll let you go. You're not on Discord though. You know that?
Yeah. I'm actually. We're taking a bit of a field trip. We're on the Big Politics Discord right now.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay, brother. That's it. That's all I wanted to share.
Good talking to you. Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Bye.
Well, look at all the little people there in the audience. I didn't mean to call you little. Y'all aren't little. Y'all are big people. Hello, everybody. Hello. Did a mod want to come up and talk to me, or I don't know. I don't know if a mod wanted to have a quick conversation with me before we take more calls. We are taking calls, though. Phone number is 202-998-5218. You want to call in, have a discussion with... I'm pretty freaking woke, guys. I'm really woke. I mean, if you don't want to call in and you just want to speak on stage... My co-host! Hey, can you invite my co-host, Daniel Hume? Daniel Hume is currently in the audience. If you would do me a favor and bust in the co-host if you're the moderator. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello,
Hi,
hello.
Daniel. Look at what we're doing. Look at what is happening.
Yeah, I saw. I mean,
This
I
is
was
some
listening
wild
to you
stuff.
on YouTube, and then Bumpy mentioned Discord, and I was like, "Oh wait, he's on politics already?" God damn.
Yeah.
I didn't see that because I don't have politics like on
So-
Focus or whatever.
I always end up with like that conversation about trans women in bathrooms. And it's like, why do we even give a crap about trans women being in bathrooms? Just leave them alone. Like, why do you need to write a law that says, oh, you're not allowed to use this bathroom because you don't have the right genitals? Like, bro, you need like a Republican bathroom, bro. Like you guys go check genitals over there. Like, fucking weirdos. All right, let me.
Dude, I don't know when I last heard like somebody being assaulted in a bathroom. I don't think it's an epidemic, regardless.
Yeah. Okay, let me. So we are. Okay, so it looks like we do have somebody that wants to speak on stage. We've got Fipdo who would like to speak. If we can invite Fipdo, I don't know if there's like a moderator on Big Politics that can help me out with this, because normally I just invite people in, but it looks like I don't have any permissions. So if you can invite Fipdo, I'm going to reject real quick the call. I'm going to put it on Do Not Disturb for the call. We're going to just use the Discord for a little bit. Is anybody able to invite Fipdo? I know Square is a mod, I think. I don't know if Unrestricted is a mod. Yes, Unrestricted is a mod. Can we invite Fipdo up? I can't invite people to speak on stage. There we go. Looks like Fipdo has been requested to invite on stage. How you doing, Fipdo? Give me a sec.
You need to put your phone.
Yeah,
on
I
hold
got to put it on
or
Do Not
something.
Disturb for a second. How you doing, Fipdo?
Well, can I be heard?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. You said you were a little confused on why people are against the idea, or maybe are repugnant to the idea of transsexuals entering, or transgenders, however you want to phrase it, entering bathrooms of their opposite natal sex.
Yeah, I believe that individuals should be able to use the bathroom that they see fit. I'll be honest with you. I mean, there are some trans people that are going to pass, some trans people that don't pass. There's going to be cisgendered people that may not look like their gender. And it's like, why are we writing laws specifically for trans people that say you're not allowed to use the bathroom as you see fit? You have like some weird special criteria. And actually, as a result, it turns out there's actually more cisgendered women that get harassed just trying to use the bathroom just because they don't look perfectly feminine to like some random right-wing chud. You see what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's just them being ignorant, though. So I wouldn't call that a case, an off case of some ignorant individual who is maybe a little bit, how should I put it? I guess hyper aware of their the political social environment right now. But I would say this: I don't think the laws are conscripted against just transgender people. I mean, you would admit this would apply to me. Like, I can't just enter a woman's bathroom just because I decided today I want to.
Well, no, because the laws specifically are there targeting trans people.
Can I enter a woman's bathroom?
Yes.
I can just enter a woman's bathroom. Any establishment would accept that a person identifying as a male, even me, my identification as a man. I've
even done this in some of the most right-wing spaces you can imagine. I went to a cigar lounge, and there was a male bathroom and a female bathroom, and the male bathroom was actually in use when I was sitting there waiting, and I needed to use the bathroom. And as I was sitting there, I was waiting for the male bathroom to be open. They said, hey, just use the women's bathroom. And I said, wait, really?
Actually,
and they were like, yeah, it's not a big deal. No one's going to give a crap. Like, just use the bathroom. And fair enough, right? That's really what it is like, biologically speaking, you need to use the bathroom. So just use the bathroom.
I think people care more about like public bathroom spaces where there's like multitudes of people inside of it, not just like the singular bathroom. I think people are because I mean, what's being called out? Generally, I think even people who are identifying as men, people don't have an issue with natal females going into men's bathrooms in general. I think it's the opposite. It's natal males going into female bathrooms because people, generally civilizations, are a little bit more protective of women. Which, if you look at the debate here, what are we identifying? We're identifying one class as an actual woman, another as not. And so I mean that's where the real idea of repugnance is. It's the idea that we're going to allow men enter spaces that we've protected for women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm saying that's a fair criticism. And when you look at the actual statistics behind this, you find that overwhelmingly women that are assaulted in women's bathrooms is cisgendered men, even by a per capita basis. So we can't just use raw population to be the issue. So it's basically an issue that is effectively non-existent and doesn't bear in the statistics.
Well, in general, statistically speaking, men are more likely to violate the rights of another person.
Yes.
In general.
Correct. So the problem,
so
and let's be honest, right? You said it yourself, right? Cisgendered men aren't allowed to go into the women's restroom. You said you can't just enter in, but
Yeah,
there we are. There we are. We have
generalities.
cisgendered
So, like,
men going into women's restroom, regardless of the fact that it says women's, regardless of there being a law, and they're sexually assaulting. Also, just FYI, sexually assaulting is also illegal. So what if we create a law specifically against trans people to discriminate against trans people, that all of a sudden that the resolution has been found? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I do have an issue with calling out particular classes generally when making laws. They should be made in generality, not to my understanding. I mean, in general, what's already ingrained in the law, and I think like this is where the language is because now you have a group of people who are just denying biological sex. So now we have to.
No,
we're kind of operating.
No, it's not denying biological sex. Biological sex never changes.
Well, I mean, it's like,
the term transgender is referring to the gender being separate from their sex. It is not saying that the sex changes. The sex never changes. The sex remains the same no matter what you do.
When you have a quote unquote woman sporting a beard, a bra, and a dress, I would be saying they're denying their biological sex for this reason.
No, they're not denying their sex. They're just changing their gender. The sex stays the same. Well, I keep trying to tell you how this works.
Well, hold on.
You don't seem to be educated on that. Okay, what does the term transgender mean to you?
Well, transgender means he has a transition in gender. Yeah, I
understand
the reason
so
for
the
this
sex doesn't change, the gender. So the sex doesn't change, the gender changes. Do you understand?
But look at this. Linguistics overall.
It's not a linguistic thing. It's a scientific finding. It's not linguistic.
Well, here's the deal. Man and woman actually is a biological claim. It only recently, in recent times.
If you're referring to sex, but also there's aspects of gender that are biological as well, such as the neurobiology resulting in result in specific brain morphologies that result in someone feeling like internally that their sex is separate. These things happen.
Okay, well, I'm saying this. I'm saying this. When you use let's just say you acknowledge you are a biological woman, you acknowledge that. Okay, but when you start calling yourself a man, or you can, and this example can be used on the inverse. You know, biological man calling yourself a woman. The term man and woman, until recently, and I'm using recent very. I mean, like, let's just say the scope is kind of like human importance.
Yeah, that's fine. Words change.
I'm going to say American history.
It's fine. Words change.
I'm saying only in recent times, in like the late 2000s, when
it is, by the way, specific to the English
the language.
Hold on, hey, hold on. It is also specific to the English language, where you can look at different cultures that had instances of transgender people for thousands of years. For example, you could look at hydras as an example. Okay, but the point is that words. The point that I'm trying to make to you is that words change all the time. So appealing to like, well, in the 70s, it only started changing until around the 70s. We already exhibited hormonal differences in hormones. I think it was like in the 1890s when we were doing experiments on chickens and observing different behavioral traits based on what hormones a chicken got. I think it was like the removal of the gonads of a chicken changed their qualities from a rooster-like to a hen-like characteristics, where they realized there was something associated with the gonads that caused male or female. These are some of the earliest instances of that. I guess what I'm trying to tell you though is that it doesn't matter if you have like a word like to describe it or like a word that may have changed. The fact is still the same.
Yeah. Well, my point was, look, I'm drawing a circle around American culture. I don't want to dip into like, some random Southern American culture, like some just something irrelevant. It's irrelevant to us. So I'm drawing a circle around American culture first. Secondly, I'm also hyper aware that the intellectual spaces had slowly in the 50s began moving to change, sort of usage and definitions, but culturally speaking, the culture still had this idea until maybe 2010 that man and woman, and it's still debated in intellectual squares.
It's not. It's
is
not. It's not.
distinctly tied
It's
to
not.
biological sex.
It's affirmed.
Well,
It's affirmed in
well,
I think
really?
it's over 6 different fields of science. No matter what you say or what I say about this topic, it is not going to matter. The science is already in on this
You're
topic.
saying it's uncontested? It's uncontested?
It is. That's
See, like,
correct.
if
It's
I
not.
point
It's
to
not
somebody
a
like,
contested thing. It's way less contested
well,
than you think it is. It's a very
if I
not
quoted somebody
controversial
like
concept.
Dawkins, really? So somebody like Dawkins, are you aware of what field he majors in?
Biology, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Dawkins,
biologists disagree with him.
Himself.
And biologists
Well,
disagree
yeah,
with him. There's
that's
lots of
what I said.
there's
Look,
lots
look,
of there's
look,
lots of
look, can I-
quack scientists, but that doesn't make it the consensus on this.
So
The
Dawkins-
consensus on this
Dawkins
topic.
is a quack scientist?
Yes, he is. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
but-
regarding
but
gender, he
my
actually has no
standard- I'm
idea.
sorry,
He has
are
no idea what he's talking about.
Well,
He's never talked to an
gender-
endocrinologist on this. He doesn't know anything about the
But gender is
neurobiology on
something
this.
different.
He doesn't know anything
Hey,
about the sociology or the psychology or the
But don't
or the
bait and
embryology. There are multiple instances of sex being different from gender on multiple different fields of science. This is empirically shown and
Yeah.
proven.
Yeah, but you're doing a bait and switch because
It's
we're
not a
talking
bait and
about
switch.
biology.
You just mentioned one scientist and think that the entirety of all science is wrong because this one scientist says so. That's
I
idiotic.
didn't say that. I didn't say that. No, I said it's debated. Are you aware of that? I just said it's debated. I didn't say.
I mean, I
that,
guess if
oh,
you could find like a
everybody-
fringe scientist
everybody
that
down the
thinks
line-
that the Earth is flat, I guess
I'm sorry,
then you
he's
could say
fringe?
like it's debated. But in reality, like the consensus is that it's not debated. It's not something that's debated at all.
So, Rich, to you,
Not
Richard
to me, to the
Dawkins
consensus,
is
the
a
scientific
fringe-
consensus.
I'm sorry. What scientific consensus has
Right.
come to the conclusion that, like,
I'll help you out.
because you're pointing to something. You're pointing to something. There's some board of scientists.
The scientific
that have
consensus. That's
concluded
correct.
man
I'm
and
appealing.
woman
I'm
are
appealing
no
to what the
longer-
science
no-
says. That's what I do.
Yeah. But what says that? What consensus says that?
There's multiple fields. There's endocrinology, psychology, neurobiology,
Let's talk about
biology,
with a statement.
the
Who's
embryology, the
saying
sociology.
that-
There's so many there's so many different fields of science that prove the existence of gender being different from sex. It is a well-known and
I'm
understood
asking
finding.
Who? I'm asking who?
Who?
Like,
There-
what group
all
of
of
people are you
science.
saying?
All of science. All of it.
Science doesn't
Literally
speak.
all of it.
Scientists speak. Scientists speak. Science doesn't
All right.
speak.
So do I got to like
Scientists
present
speak.
to you a bunch
So
of
I'm asking
studies
you,
that prove this, and
who is-
then you
who is
acknowledge it?
speaking?
Hey, are you gonna
Well,
if I
I'm
present
asking
you
what
a
group?
bunch of studies, then are you going to acknowledge it, or am I going to
just
just sit there
asking
and
what-
witch hunt nothing, right? And then you just deny everything after I provide you the information you're looking for.
Well, you'd be correct to assume I would be in denial. I would deny those scientists' claims that man and woman.
So it doesn't matter what I
until-
send you.
Well,
That means it doesn't matter what I
it
send
does
you.
matter. It does matter.
It-
because
you
you're
literally
trying to
just said that it doesn't matter.
confirm.
You just said it doesn't
Okay,
matter.
Hold on. Well, it's a category error because we're
No,
talking,
it's
we're
not a
talking about two
category
different
error.
things.
Here, let me help
Where-
you out.
where-
Here,
where
I got you, baby
Can-
bird. I will
Can I
feed you.
finish? Can I finish?
I will feed.
Can I
Nope, you
finish?
cannot finish. I will feed you, baby bird. So this here that I'm going to show you, this is a consensus program that specifically looks at scientific studies. And all I did is ask it, is gender different from sex? And it says here through 9 separate sources that the answer is yes. There are 0% of papers that say no on this. Yes, gender is distinct from sex, but they are also related. Sex refers to biological characteristics, chromosomes, gonads, hormones, anatomy, and related physiology, commonly categorized as male and female, with a recognition of intersex variations that do not fit neatly into the binary, typically stable from across the life course, though medical or hormonal interventions can modify aspects of sexed biology. Gender is refers to socially constructed roles, norms, identities, and expressions such as masculine, feminine, non-binary, etc., which includes gender identity of one's internal sense of being a man, woman, or non-binary, as well as gender roles and social expectations. It has been recognized as a spectrum varying across cultures over time. Sex and gender are different
I'm
concepts.
sorry, okay, so I mean, but this assumes one thing. Sorry.
No, it's not an
is
assumption of one
gender-
thing. I want you to acknowledge.
Can I finish?
No, you can't. I want you to
Why can't I not
acknowledge
finish? How are
that
you gonna debate me
gender
if you
is
don't even know
different
what I
from
have to
sex.
say?
I want you to acknowledge it, because earlier you seem to have a problem with acknowledging that gender is different from sex, but there is no study that agrees with you here. There is not a single study. In order for
I'm
you
sorry.
to remain
Where I
fact-based,
said that
you
the-
need to acknowledge gender is different from
You're
sex. So
strawmanning
I
me.
want you to say it.
Look, you
Is
have to
gender different
acknowledge
from...
you're
I'm not
strawmanning me.
strawmanning you. I'm asking you the question. Is
You
gender
are, 'cause
different
I
from
never
sex?
made that argument.
I need you
I
to
never
acknowledge
made
it.
the argument
Okay,
that
if you never made the
gender-
argument, this
Yes,
should be
I've
very
already-
easy
okay.
to acknowledge. So
That's
the
why
question
I-
is gender different from sex?
Yeah, you
Answer
have
it.
to listen.
Yes or
to
no?
make okay, in order to have a proper representation of my position, you have to actually listen to what my position
Bro,
is. You're
Daniel,
not representing
what is
me
it with
correctly.
it
I've
with
said
right
that.
wingers and their incapability of actually engaging what I am asking them, and they always bring up meta? What is with that, Daniel? It doesn't matter what
it's
what
not just
Discord that I go
It's
to,
not just meta.
he brings up, well, if you just
This is not
stop and
just
let me
meta.
interrupt. Answer the fucking question. Answer the question.
This
Is gender
isn't meta.
different
I've
from
answered
sex?
it.
Yes or no?
Yes, and let me explain.
Great,
Look,
fabulous.
I have not once at any point said the antithesis. I never said the opposite of that sex is the same as gender. I've
That's
never
not what you
that.
said earlier, but that's fine. That's fine. We
What?
could.
Wait,
this is
I've
all
not
recorded,
said-
and
hold on.
and don't
I'm
worry,
sorry.
it'll become a YouTube video. It'll be great.
Yeah.
But okay.
No,
so
you know what I did say.
understanding
you know what
that.
I did say.
All right. So make your point. What's your point?
Because this is where the confusion came.
Yeah.
When I said that the terms man and woman, those two terms, those are not gender terms. Gender theory
It
came
can be.
about
It can
later.
be. No.
Later.
It can actually be
Later.
both. It can be both.
Later.
Hey, it can be both.
No.
It can be
Came
both.
about
Yes, it can be
later.
both. It can be woman in terms of gender. It could also be woman in terms of
Which-
sex.
can
It
I-
depends
can I
on what you're
understand?
talking about.
Gender. Which came first? And this is kind of like a question of like the chicken and the egg. Which came first? The terms man and woman or gender theory?
This has nothing to do with
Which came
any
first?
of the validity of this. This is zero to do with any
you
of
know
this.
why? Because
Why?
if you're to say these words are tied to gender theory.
Yes, there's relations between sex and
inherently,
gender.
That gender's hold on.
I agree
that
with you. There's
gender
relations
theory
of sex and gender. Yes.
consummated this. That gender theory consummated this. That's
What does
that's
that have to
you're
do with
attempting
its
to say,
validity?
Is that